In this episode of Noise, we'll break down The Wizard of Oz, Planet the Sphere, and why it's not all AI.
Showrunner, the new Netflix of AI.
And we'll take a look at some AI creators that are blending traditional VFX processes with AI. Let's get into it. All right, what's up, Addy?
Hey, how was your weekend?
It was good. So I love IMAX. You know, we've talked about IMAX a lot.
We both love IMAX.
I enjoyed watching Sinners and F1.
Yeah.
And, Superman on IMAX. But I saw The Naked Gun this weekend, and I have to say, I don't think I've had more fun at a movie theater in a long time.
Awesome. Yeah. It reminded me of like the Judd Apatow era movies of the early 2000s.
Yeah, I have not laughed in a theater that much since like The Wedding Crashers.
Right.
So yeah, highly recommend if you have not seen it. And especially you should see it in a theater because seeing it with an audience
Okay.
And everyone laughing just made it way more funny. Also, it's like 80 minutes, which is like unheard of with the 3-hour superhero movies today.
Yeah, right. And Liam Neeson as a comedy actor. I mean, who would have thought?
He's so great for it. I mean, he was perfect in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember there was a funny joke where it's just like, oh, who knew? Like all you had to do was find the guy with the similar name to Leslie Nielsen.
That's right. Okay. No, I'm going to go see it.
Yeah, I highly recommend.
Okay.
Speaking of immersive big theater experiences, got some brewing stuff happening with The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
And the Sphere.
Our viewers tell us that they hear about things for the first time on this show. So for those of you who are just listening in on this, and I've first heard about this from you, apparently the Wizard of Oz tickets were selling for about a month now. Some of the first showings are being done over at the Sphere in Vegas.
I think it opens the end of this month.
Okay.
But basically this was the first look. So we've known about for a while, if you follow VP Land, because we've covered this for months since they've announced it. Like back in April, they announced Wizard of Oz and the Sphere, or MGM, had a partnership.
Sign up to the newsletter.
Exactly. They had a partnership that they were going to bring the Wizard of Oz to the Sphere and use AI. And Google had an announcement using Google's AI to basically take a film that is a 4:3 film shot 100 years ago and blow it up into a something that works on a 16K immersive
Such a tough
display
thing to do.
Yes, and there's a lot of ways to go about that, because you could go the Matrix route at Cosm, which from what we've seen, they kind of put the movie in a box on the screen and then built an environment around it, but you're basically watching the movie on a screen in a immersive environment.
It's really like what I think is ambient backlighting on some TVs. Like I don't know if they still do that, but it was basically like the green agent scenes in the Matrix.
At the Cosm thing.
At the Cosm, it was just like a green background, like a desktop
in the ads
background.
I saw, it was like, or if you're watching on the rooftop, it was like the rooftop environment,
right.
Or based on the scene. Yeah, but definitely, but they didn't really modify the movie from what I know.
Yeah. We're going to go see it.
In this case, we are going to see it.
Yeah.
Yes, we're going to finally go to Cosm.
Yeah.
But for this, they were modifying the visuals of the movie. And so we've known about this for a while, but last Sunday, CBS Sunday Morning did a special that was sort of the first time that we've actually seen
like screen
what
grabs.
they're doing.
Yeah.
And they were playing some demo clips and stuff. Yeah, the internet was upset about some of the visuals and took it and ran, and it became a meme, which the meme format's actually kind of funny.
When is the internet not upset? Come on. All right, let's dig into...
There's a lot of things we got to break down here.
Yeah, let's dig into some of the examples of why people are upset. So the one that I'm going to start with
I'm going to show you some. I'll show you some of the visuals first.
Yeah.
So these were some of the visuals of the original, Scarecrow, and then we got the big wide shot of Scarecrow sort of on the bottom of the frame at the Sphere, and then this big saturated blue sky. Yeah,
so it feels like a complete modification of the existing footage into what I would call inspired by footage.
These are the memes that happened out of it, of basically joke enlarging classic movies like The Searchers, which I actually saw that for the first time at the American Cinematheque.
Yeah, I don't know if like AI was used in every shot. Probably wasn't, because AI, quite frankly, is not that capable at that resolution yet.
Right. Well, yeah, we can dig into that in a second, because we saw some posts from some people that said they worked on it.
Yeah, but it feels like outpainting, right? Like or generative filling, or what name you have for it. It's where you have a limited window and you want to expand that window out to just fill.
Yeah, you've got a small box.
Yeah.
And, you got to fill a big box. And what do you fill that with?
Yes.
And what do you do that with? An old format that it is old, and it is 4:3.
But
not, the old doesn't matter.
Resolution.
Yeah, the old part doesn't matter. But I mean, it is a 4:3 square format they're trying to blow up onto a big screen.
Yep.
And also, I mean, the screen is basically a headset that thousands of people are in the same VR headset.
Yeah.
So you also have different considerations with movement, with motion sickness, with the types of shots
you
that
can't
could
just
translate
like
over.
magnify the frame to fill, because then you're looking at Dorothy who's like 100 foot tall and you're doing this, right? Yeah, so that obviously won't work, and they know it. So you still have to keep the center of frame into somewhat of a movie theater size thing, right? Like an IMAX screen size, and then got to figure out what to do with the peripherals.
Sort of, right. But if we're looking at some of the demo clips that they did, and I think what, I don't know, weirded people out is, here's one of the examples. Or this was one of the big AI examples, and they demoed it in the Sunday morning
so
clip.
this is before Dorothy goes to Oz. This is when she's still in Kansas, because it's the sepia tone.
Yeah, and they're still in the house.
Yeah.
And so the original film, it's 4:3, and one of the uncle or one of the characters was in the shot, walks out of the shot, and then comes back into the shot. But when they blew this up, their take was they were going to blow up the entire living room and fill the entire sphere with the living room scene. And so when the uncle goes out of frame, they need to AI generate the uncle so that he doesn't just disappear.
Yes.
And then when he comes back in a frame, it goes back to the original footage. So that was one of the examples that they gave of like how AI came into use. But then what I think annoyed or upset people a lot was how they handled.
Oh, I see Glenn Derry in that video. Nice. Shout out to Glenn.
This stuff with
the
Scarecrow, with the roads, with Dorothy like on the very bottom of the screen, with the framing here just looks like it looks weird from this angle that they shot the CBS special with.
Right.
Because everything's so bottom frame. There's like huge blue saturated skies. Scarecrow looks kind of weird. But I think CBS just shot this at a weird angle. Like, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think we're looking at this from a very high, a very wide angle. And look, there are a lot of smart people on this project. Like, I don't think they're going to be trying to like make a like weird looking experience.
Let me just put it this way. The people that are on this project have made movies before.
It's not
really
like,
capable people on this production.
It's like, we're just blow it up.
Just
okay.
outpaint it.
Okay, generate. So I think CBS did not do them any favors. And so like, I mean, if you think about, okay, if you're actually lower and your field of view, a normal person's field of view is much more narrower.
Yeah.
What is the experience for the viewer who's paying to go in the theater? We don't know what that is yet. CBS didn't really do a good job of displaying that.
Sure.
So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and think that like this is just a horrible angle to shoot something that is not meant to be displayed this way.
Also, in that video, if you go back to where you see Oz, like the green, I mean, that shot at the sphere is money. Like seeing
the Oz blown up and floating and the sphere.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what this is for.
That's what the sphere is for, right?
And they're also making this like interactive. So like when it's the hurricane, they're bringing in giant hurricane fans to blow around.
Yes.
They're bringing interactive stuff to this. So it's not just the movie, but there's wind, sound effects. There was a separate video came out a month ago too about how they're redoing the entire score for the Sphere's like massive audio system, because the original recording is like a mono.
I forgot the company they acquired, the audio company. Basically, there's 160 speaker elements within the Sphere, and each one is fine-tuned.
Oh, right. So like kind of no matter where you're sitting, you get a similar audio
like the
experience.
Oral experience is as equally stunning as the visual experience. Yeah. And on top of that, the seats, I think, have interactivity to them as well. So like I think on some of the other stuff they've done, you can vote for things or you can press buttons on the seats and things like that. Yeah. So look, end of the day, this is
you're not thinking of the Steve Ballmer Stadium,
the Intuit Dome,
the new one that he opened.
Yeah, that has it as well.
Because that definitely had interactive
That has it as well.
Stuff.
Yeah, but I think the Sphere, has it too. Okay. There's a whole department within the Sphere that handles interactivity and immersive. Okay. Yeah, so
it makes sense.
I mean, there's a department that just builds cameras at that resolution, right?
Big sky.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a giant science project, and to be honest, the other side of it is, and you saw on some of the tweets, is there is a ton of VFX work that went into this, and quite frankly, at a time when we needed more VFX work in the industry, the Sphere has provided.
Yeah, I mean, so like there was a Reddit thread on the VFX Reddit, and basically people posting, and then other people commented who worked on it or said they worked on it. We can't actually do that for sure, but Wizard of Oz Sphere experience was made by real VFX artists, and they're being discredited like always.
I would say that the actual AI touch, I'm just an outsider looking in, is probably so little. Right, because then you have to go in and you have to upscale and figure out all the errors that AI makes at that resolution. And the sensitivity, I think the Sphere didn't quite foresee, and quite honestly, I didn't foresee, is like if you have a sacred IP and a sacred film like Wizard of Oz, like Ben-Hur, like Gone with the Wind, and then you want to modernize it, bring into a complete 21st century experience.
Yeah.
With AI, you're going to run into some trouble.
I mean, people hear the word AI, and we've talked about this before, no matter with zero context and just like, oh my God.
Yeah, you remember the whole Reese feature thing with the Brutalist?
Yes. So yeah, I mean, in this post on the VFX, I'm a VFX artist and I've been working on this for months. I'm pissed at these news articles. We've had a team of very human artists meticulously rebuilding all the pieces of the set. There's barely any AI being used for the backgrounds. Yet reading those articles, it's like a machine did it all. No, real people have been given work. Real people have been working late nights and weekends to get it done. And then,
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we both probably have friends that work at the Sphere. Yeah. They're like, I don't know, 10 miles from here, right? They're this is like a Burbank, Glendale area company. And if you live in the area, you know that Disney is there, DreamWorks is there, Warner Bros. Like all the major studios are in this 10-mile radius. So a lot of friends of our industry are in there. And from the last 6 months, all we heard was like, yeah, it's a mad sprint in there to get Wizard of Oz done. It's really complex. A lot of hands are involved, and they did it, I think, for the most part.
Yeah. And look, I mean, it's built for the Sphere, and I don't think you could judge it from footage and angles that are not the way it was intended to be experienced.
Yeah. Having said that, like I'm sure that there's a few AI folks within that company, and they're just like probably sweating right now, like, oh my God.
I'm thinking too,
what have I done?
The idea of the, AI, like and like type it and done. Is there even any AI that is trained on 16K? Like when we talked about,
let alone 32K
or 32. Is that what we talked about, like generations and stuff and like image resolution?
You're lucky to get 1080p.
So I like maybe, they composited elements, maybe they just use it to upscale. I mean, I would be curious what the extent of the AI was. Someone else commented too that they worked on this for about 5 months. There were multiple large VFX houses worldwide working on this, but they kept adding work because the AI couldn't do what they needed it to do.
Not yet. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, you're talking about maybe AI getting you to like 2K, perhaps 4K, and then from 4K up to 16K, filling in all the detail insertion, like filling in skin tone, wood beam details, everything, and then from 16K going to 32, right, to just make everything work. There's no way.
Yeah. One thing also that I'm kind of curious about, or like your thoughts, like the experiment itself of taking an old movie, kind of retooling it. Oh yeah, one thing though that is sort of a bummer, and like probably the most upsetting thing about the whole story is they did cut 30 minutes out of the original movie.
Yeah, that's not
I don't know if it's because the shots were too complex, like we talked about, like that wouldn't translate over to the Sphere, would make people too sick, or I saw one theory that it was so they could fit more screenings in the day. I don't really know about that. That part I am.
What are your thoughts on that?
I'm more upset about the cutting the part because it's like, well, you're going there to see the Wizard of Oz experience. I want to see the full movie that, I have.
It certainly doesn't help if you combine it with all this other stuff, right? Like, it's just like, okay, you took this intact original IP and now you've chipped away 30 minutes of it, and now you've added outpainting elements, and now you've done new shots that never have existed, new novel camera views. So it all adds up to like, is it even Wizard of Oz anymore? That kind of a question.
Right. So what are your thoughts of just like this experiment of taking something, a classic, and
remixing it,
retooling it for a different experience, for a modern experience?
I would say at that point, you are better off just rebooting the entire thing with new actors and reshooting it. Like, don't touch the film from the original.
Really? You think they should just like recast it and shoot a whole?
They should have just used those fancy cameras they have and maybe reshoot them. I mean, they certainly have the budget and the capability to do so. And my guess is it probably would have been cheaper
than what they're doing. I don't know. I mean, look, I mean, if it gets people interested in something that's old, if it's a reimagining of the thing, also if you're not into it, don't watch it. You don't have to go.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay. Also, it's not cheap too. I think it's like $200 a ticket.
I mean, look, we're at a position, we're at a time and a place in our industry where we're experimenting and trying new things out, and kudos to the Sphere for taking this momentous big step into this territory of taking old IP, putting it on a 21st century screen, right? This experiment, let's see how it goes over the next 6 months, and if it does cause an enormous, pop culture moment. If it doesn't, I don't think we'll see one of those ever again.
You know, I've been talking about the pop culture moment. It's like, it's probably going to be when you're like scrolling on TikTok and then you see like someone who looks like they're in Oz.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what? Where are they? And then they pan and you realize, oh, they're in the sphere. And then it's like one of those other crazy sphere reveal moments or like Cosm moments where it's like they're on the side of the football game and then they pan. It's like they're not really there. What? They're like watching it in the Cosm.
Every like viewer capture of a Sphere concert, like I saw some from obviously U2 when it came out.
Yeah.
The one I was watching last night was Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, with the spaceship.
Yeah. I was like, dude, that's awesome.
So I was like, the Sphere knows what
End
they're
of the
doing.
day, it's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, I think that a lot of this goes to just what CBS Sunday Morning did. I'd be more upset with them. Other than like their format is like the
they
most
should have had
vanilla,
a YouTuber cover it instead of traditional media. Like if
like VP Land.
I was thinking,
we get to the bottom of
like
it.
Mr. Beast, somebody.
Excuse me, no, but
Your boy, Mr. Beast.
no, I think MKBHD would probably be more.
Yeah, exactly. They should have had like
appropriate
Cleo
level.
Abrams or MKBHD, somebody like that cover it, who really understands tech and knows how to storytell.
The CBS Sunday Morning, I think the audience is if that is who's into the Wizard of Oz.
You're right. Boomers.
I think, yeah. Look, CBS Sunday Morning is a very nice show. I don't think they were the best outlet to try to explain or distill this.
Yeah, exactly.
Or capture the experience. CBS Sunday Morning audience, Wizard of Oz overlap, not the tech literate audience.
Yeah, and the audience that you want is the creator economy consumers, right? It's the folks that are growing up on YouTube that want to experience something they can't experience anywhere else on the planet.
Yeah, I think that's for like anyone that wants to go to this. It's like, oh, hey, that movie that you've like grown up with and just like has existed forever. Yeah. You can now experience it in some trippy way.
Also, Wizard of Oz has had some momentum in the last few years, right? Wicked just came out, and before that,
Wicked's huge,
on Pantages and Broadway, like the whole play was on for like a good decade.
Wicked,
yeah. So it like
massive.
never really went away.
No, especially, I mean, mainly thanks to Wicked.
Yeah,
for being around forever between the book and the play and the movies.
The last thing I'll bring up on this topic is the broader issue with Las Vegas as a city that is winding down.
Or just slow right now.
Yeah.
Yes,
and would this bring the traffic back in, or would this be hurt from the fact that not a lot of people are going to Vegas at the moment?
Oh, that just the market's not.
Yeah, like would this actually
tourist
pull Vegas into a
right? Because
positive,
I'm guessing the selling point of this too is it's like you're a tourist in Vegas, you got the Cirque du Soleil options. Like, what do you do in the evening? You go watch Cirque du Soleil, or do you go watch The Wizard of Oz in this trippy experience? Yeah, does that hurt them overall? I don't know.
The from what I could tell and from all the articles, I'm kind of obsessed with this because like I used to go to Vegas all the time for trade shows, and it didn't matter what the economy of Vegas was. We just need to go there for work. I met you there for the first time, right?
Yeah, I mean, but even in the times that we post-COVID with NAB, NAB has been smaller than pre-COVID.
Yeah. And so the question is like the international visitors to Vegas are the ones that are really spending, and they'll come in for like a week. And within that week itinerary, the Sphere is this one thing they probably will pay for. And with less and less international visitors, you're going to see like we're already seeing a global decline on all Vegas revenue, but is that just temporary?
Yeah. I'm curious. I don't know what the terms are of like, if this is a couple month engagement or if this is going to be sort of in the permanent rotation, because I mean, I think the conversion process was like $8 million. Like they invested a lot of money into this. So
they own it, right? Like this is not sent to somebody else to do it. The Sphere did it themselves.
Yeah, but I mean, they still had to license the movie and the IP from MGM.
Gotcha.
So like, I don't know,
a limited license.
I don't know. Right. Yeah. So, because I'm wondering, like, does this replace or augment the Darren Aronofsky Postcards from Earth film, which was sort of their always on, like when they didn't have an event or something, but they still, if people wanted to experience the Sphere and see something, that was like, you buy a ticket to that, you can go watch that.
Yeah.
Does this replace that, where it's just going to be something that's sort of like always programmed, where if they don't have an event and you're like, I want to go experience the Sphere, I can go watch The Wizard of Oz, in this experience.
I hope so. I hope their catalog only grows with strong projects like this, and like a steady recurring revenue for the Sphere will then make the case for having spheres all over the planet.
Yeah, you need stuff like this too to
just to pay the bills.
Not having a UFC fight or a big massive concert all the time.
One of the things that they're really smart to do, and I think Cosm is doing as well at a smaller scale, is hosting private events.
You see that Delta one?
Yeah, the Delta keynote.
Yeah, that one's crazy. I saw the footage coming out of that.
Big baller Delta,
dude.
How much did they have to pay for that?
That'd be
Yeah, so for those of you who missed it, during CES, the Sphere was closed because Delta held their annual conference there for all their employees.
Yeah, but I've just seen the like keynote footage of the keynote speech. It was like, it was like an airplane, or it just had like all of this crazy like custom built Delta airplane graphics inside.
Did you
the Sphere.
also see that rave thing, the Anima?
I think I've seen clips of that where it's like
with that robot
stuff. Oh, the robot coming through the ceiling.
Yeah, that was dope. That's
really
very
cool
Vegas.
Stuff. Yeah. Yeah, just imagine being on substances and that happens.
Nobody's ever on substances in Vegas. What are you talking about?
All right. I think we've talked about the Sphere enough, but even though we can keep talking about it.
Look, if you have comments, let us know. Either way, if you feel like this is a super egregious thing to do with or if you support VFX and our artist community, either way, let us know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, because there's a whole other just like, do they have permission? Do they have other things? Like even No Film School had an essay about it. That's why, because that's one that sort of bothered me. But this is just because the person that wrote the essay, the last thing they said, but this is just a computer changing a movie to make money. That's not art. That's just unfettered capitalism.
That's not true.
That's not true. I mean, this is like a silly take that are like, oh, they just put it in a computer and like, hey, spit out the AI version of.
I wish it was that easy.
I know exactly. It's like before you comment about this stuff, actually try to make something even for like 2 seconds on one of these tools. Yeah. They're not that easzy to control.
Yeah.
And then
a lot of times No Film School nails it. A lot of times.
And that's then capitalism run amok. It's also like this is the film business. Like we're in this to make money.
Well, we're not here for charity for sure.
All right, let's move on.
Okay. What's next?
Showrunner AI.
The Netflix of AI.
The Netflix of AI, which I don't know about that title, but I can play it into that title because that's what we called it too. And that's what everyone called it. And we called it when we wrote about it. Okay, so it is basically, so it also got they sort of teased what their product's going to be. And Amazon has invested in them. So
can you just give us a rundown of what it actually is? I'll give you a rundown of
what it is, yes. Yeah. But that's why they like got some notoriety lately. But basically they're saying it is like a generate your own TV show, animated show platform. And their vision is that anyone can log onto the platform and you kind of can give it some images of you, your friends, your environment, the stories you want to tell, and it'll make animated episodes starring you and your friends and your real life in the style.
Because it's so interesting.
I don't know, maybe to you. In the style of like South Park or Family Guy, like that animated style. They're just doing animation because that's the easiest to like automate and replicate. The people behind this did the South Park AI experiment like a year or two ago where they kind of built the machine that would just keep generating South Park episodes.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
And then it got
Did you see any of it?
I did not watch any of it.
Okay.
The only South Park episode I've seen recently is
the Trump one
from last week.
Oof.
But I don't know. I mean, I think people were watching it and it got like kind of popular and then it got shut down because of, IP.
Copyright.
But that they took that same idea and that is now this product Showrunner. And so the vision and running through some of their thread highlights or whatever X tweet. It is an X thread.
There's a cool video.
Yeah, he's saying the this Toy Story of AI moment isn't just going to be a cheap animated film. It's going to be playable movies and shows, remixable, multiplayer, personalized, interactive.
All right. Do we do opinions yet?
Yeah. I mean, let me give a more of a briefing and then we can do opinions. Their first show is called Exit Valley. It's a riff on Silicon Valley, the show, which was amazing, on like the current players.
Amazing. Come on. You're underselling Silicon Valley. It was one of the best shows ever made.
I wish Silicon Valley still existed today because there's so much good material.
It's up there with like The Wire, Barry. It's one of HBO's greatest shows.
I haven't seen Barry. I need to watch Barry.
Oh, dude, you got to watch Barry. NoHo Hank.
So the Exit Valley is set in San Francisco. You can upload yourself as a character, create your home, and tell your story among the maddening grooves of AI. So the sort of idea is like they have, I guess, maybe a hero version of the show in this world, and then you can make your own spin-off side versions of the show in this world and multiply that by like any
infinite possibilities.
Any IP show worlds that's on. I don't know how the IP works. If you can be like, I want to be in The Simpsons. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, like AI is writing the show.
I believe AI is writing the show. I don't know
rendering
if it's
and generating the show. AI is making the dialogue.
I think it is like you can give it as much or as little direction as you want, and then like with the images of the characters and the location and maybe story points, and then it generates the show. I
don't know if that qualifies as the Netflix of AI, man.
Maybe it's Netflix in the sense that like there will be a lot of volume of content.
Yeah, but Netflix is not.
Is it good? I don't know.
I mean,
I'm curious. Look, I'm curious. So this idea of you can generate your own show and, star in your own movie of your own adventure never quite made the most sense to me.
They've tried this before with VR, AR in the past.
What, like generate your own movie or show?
Yeah, well, not necessarily generate it, but choose your own adventure.
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
it was pre-recorded.
There was Bandersnatch.
Yeah. Even before that.
Yeah. I mean, the Choose Your Own Adventure books have been around for a while.
Sure.
Yeah. This is more like we'll make a thing for you and
as
you
can
go watch it
on the fly.
Who is that interesting to besides the audience of like you and your friends?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I don't
probably no one.
Yeah, like I always try to think outside of my brain if that makes sense. Like I am a certain demographic, a certain age, we're men, but also what about Gen Alpha, especially the older Gen Alpha and younger Gen Z? They're in a completely different context. Their mind wants different types of entertainment that you and I do. So does this make sense for them?
I don't know. I mean, do your kids like to make things or see things with them starring in it?
I can make is Roblox. Like Roblox is exactly the type of entertainment that I think this is trying to steal.
Roblox is a game. It's an interactive.
It's a game, but it's also a hang. Where your friends hang, and then they can make stuff. They could dress themselves up however they want.
Yeah, but you're still. I mean, that's where I'm getting. That's where I'm sort of like, okay, where's the line? Or I mean, well, not that there needs to be a line, but like in the types of entertainment, and this is something that even like Netflix talks about, where it's like the lean back entertainment, where it's like, okay, I just want to go chill on my couch and like watch something, Netflix, HBO, whatever, and lean back and watch something and not have to make decisions. Or gaming, where you're like, okay, I'm actually involved in playing a game.
Yeah.
And then this, where it's like, I want to watch something, but I also want to be involved in how it's made or what's making it. So you're making decisions, but it's like, but it's not a game.
I'm not going to dismiss it entirely because I do think that there is probably a low percentage that this could actually be big. Like in the unlikeliest of scenarios that this could be something exactly what everybody wants, or certainly the younger demographic. But the film loving scripted entertainment side of me is like the whole point of watching something on a screen is that you are consuming somebody else's art.
I mean, even the less of the art you take, but my initial take of this was like, who are you going to talk about the thing with if like it's a TV show that's just for you? Like, 'cause so much of the collective experience of like watching the show on TV and then seeing the podcast takes or talking to your friend about it. Like we just talked about The Naked Gun. Yeah. Who do you talk about that to, or that shared experience?
That's like the collective experience thing. And I think Bryn brought that up when we interviewed him, is like the reason film is because we can all talk about it and share in it. Especially it's true back in the day when a film came out and there was no other way to watch it. You couldn't stream it or anything. You had to wait in line, watch it with your friends, and then come out of the theater and you guys all giggled, right? It's like, oh, that was amazing. Yeah. Like, so that was the best part about what we thought of as entertainment as a society as a whole. And now it's become just more and more fragmented. We're watching Netflix at our home. The entire season drops. You're on episode 3 of The Studio. I'm just starting it out. We still can't fully talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I some things, I think hopefully we're going back to, weekly drops or something where it's like, we could all talk about this thing at the same time.
Yeah.
But even on, and also we're sort of tangenting, but like theatrical releases, and it's like, these are like part of the zeitgeist and like kind of make a name for itself and like sort of stick around and linger versus, Netflix dropping movies. And then it's like a thing for 3 days and then you completely forget it exists. Not saying not saying every movie makes sense for theatrical, but
like, have you seen 28 Years Later?
I have not, but I haven't seen any of them.
Okay. But just for context, like it just hit Amazon or Prime Video a couple days ago. And I saw it this weekend. It was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And of course I should have gone to the movie theater to see it, but you know me, I just watched watch stuff at home. But then I can't really share that experience with you yet because you haven't seen it.
Right.
And then who do I like? I'm still having my own personal experience, but it really isn't collective, even though it's meant to be.
I know. Honestly, the most, like, outside of like if I haven't had friends or someone who's seen the same thing, the like collective experience I get sometimes is like TikTok commentary or spoofs, where it's like I'm scrolling and then someone's like making fun of the latest like Gilded Age episode or something, and it's like, oh yeah, we all get the joke. We're all in on the same joke because we all watch the same thing.
Some meme somewhere, blows up.
Like, if you know, you know, and it's like, oh, you can all be in the same.
Wizard of Oz will get to that territory real soon.
Come back to it. So I did put in each newsletter, we put out a poll, and so we covered the story last week, and I put out a poll: do audiences truly want to create their own shows, or just sit back and watch? So actually, there were more votes since the last time I checked this. So the polling did change, but the second most popular response was yes, active creators are the future. But then that was
as in like choose your own adventure.
As in Showrunner AI is like, yeah, that's the future.
See, that's
that was the second most popular.
Yeah.
Initially, when I checked this, that was the most popular, and I was really surprised. But then the most popular was more what we're talking about. Maybe for niche content, personal projects is the number one response, which is how I feel about it. Like, cool, could be a fun thing.
Yeah. I
mean, I don't know if the model for like why Amazon would be interested in investing in this is, oh, hey, maybe we make...
Are you kidding me? It's AWS.
Oh,
it's such a big AWS play. They can just generate.
That definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more on the Amazon Studios, Amazon like entertain. I don't
No,
know who specific. I mean, it was just.
I think this is just all a big cloud compute play to just churn those GPUs forever.
I have a theory of maybe why there could also be useful potential in this for like the Amazon Studio arm.
Okay, tell me. Yeah.
So, you know, their thing is like, because they have this Exit Valley sort of hero show, and then everyone can make their own little like side quest, side world things inside this universe.
Sure.
So maybe with Amazon IP or something like what original animated
Fallout.
shows are on?
I don't know.
Like Fallout, like Lord of the Rings show or whatever. Everyone could like, they have the hero version, but then everyone could make their personal version in Middle Earth. Animated Middle Earth with them and their friends or something.
Okay, so like a licensed version of a Choose Your Own Adventure.
So you could like, you have the hero main show that everyone talks about, but then if you like really want to dig into it more, like kind of in the fan fiction realm, like fan fiction is a really big industry. And so then maybe you could spin off and go make a fun show for you and your friends.
Yes, I agree with you. I think that's an interesting take. Second interesting take, I think, speculating here.
Yeah.
Let's say hit show takes off on Showrunner, and then there's like 1,000 variants of that show that people have generated. The top 3 skim to the top. They've been viewed 1 million times or whatever. Mm-hmm. They'll just go to the very top thing, just take that storyline and now put it into live action or put it into
like this is a way to vet, to just figure out.
Just this rapid prototyping.
Remember that was Amazon, that was the very first thing they did when they were first getting into original content. Do you remember this was like, 10 years ago?
Really?
Like Amazon Prime, when they were like, we're going to make, our own TV shows too. They made a pilot of like 5 shows. And then they had people vote.
Yes, that one of the shows was The Patriot, which never made it. It was really good.
Yeah, and they had people vote for like, what do you like the most?
Yes.
And one was like on the blue superhero guy.
The
tick. Yeah. That was, and it was like vote for your pick, and that was how they determined how to greenlight shows.
This is that. Yeah, or it's a combination of everything. It's an AWS play, it's a rise to the top play, and then it's also a license model play.
All right, okay.
We'll see how it goes. Or it could just totally, not work like a lot of things in the past, like Magic Leap,
Yeah.
and just,
or maybe there are some elements of interesting ideas here. This works, this doesn't work, but some of the ideas are good and get adapted into something else.
And then the IP gets sold in pieces, like Showrunner technology. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, whatever they're using to auto-generate a Family Guy level animated episode.
It's got to be good technology, right? Yeah.
Valuable.
Exactly. For sure.
All right. And then last stuff, kind of a roundup of, been seeing some interesting demos, workflows of traditional filmmakers / traditional VFX artists who are adapting AI into their workflow.
Loving this.
And I think we've talked about this a lot, where it's like, this is the future of like, hey, just a good VFX artist, like leveling the power of generative AI, but combining the two techniques to create something really cool on a low budget.
Yeah, I think the example here is the Pirate VFX breakdown. Let's give a shout out to the guy that actually made it.
It's Albert Bozan. Because I see it watermarked on the thing. Albert Bozesan.
That's the same guy that hand wrote that shot grid thing.
Good catch.
Yes.
That's right. I'm like, that name sounds familiar. Albert Bozesan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably why he made the thing for this project.
Right, because he's making a project with AI. Yeah.
Well, this is even more complicated, but okay, cool. Also, shout out again,
Shout out again, Albert.
Albert, yeah, you're gonna 2 for 2 on denoised. But yeah, I mean, looking at the original footage, it's like they shot this, cutesy pirate film, campy pirate film.
Yeah.
But it's like literally the guys dressed as pirates in their attic, and then they're replacing the background with generated backgrounds and compositing.
Yeah, the thing that I love about this is one of the things that I have kind of a personal issue with is anytime I see AI generated humans, and as you know, I come from the world of digital humans, and it's still deep in the uncanny valley, and I don't get why you're trying to tell a story with an digital human that's not quite ready. Like, it's off-putting. It's going to take you out of the story immediately. So when I see people use real people, shoot on green, shoot on environment, whatever, and then just swap out props, swap out backgrounds, I think that's the way, at least for now, until AI generated humans are fully ready.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think this is a really good blend, because I've talked to with some workflows, or I remember even talking with Kayvon the Kid when I interviewed him, and he did the fully generated, but with SAG actors, the Wolf Hunt to the Wolf Night.
It was good.
Sci-fi film. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything was generated. When I asked him about the sort of hybrid approach, he was like, well, sometimes the backgrounds don't really it looks too weird with real people, but they have a good blend with how because they have like practical effects and doors, like he's touching an actual door that opens.
A lot of the hand registration worked really well.
Yeah. And it's like he's touching a real door, and then they painted over the door, replaced the door.
Yes.
And so the interaction with the foreground and background works really well.
Yeah. Like I'm showing this here.
Oh, off the
like his elbow is missing the shadow that you would get, but it's making contact with that bow that's not even there.
That's the final composite.
I think so.
Or that they showed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for, I'm sure you could find issues and stuff, but for I'm sure the budget and what they did,
Exactly.
And it shows where it's going.
Yeah, and it's already at a level where like a YouTube creator can run with it.
Yeah.
It's definitely not going to be on IMAX screen anytime soon, but this is good enough for a lot of things already.
Yeah, and I'm, just shooting it in a house or the living room and making it look like they're Pirates of the Caribbean.
It just reminds me of some of the creative stuff that John Finger and those guys do all the time. Yeah. It's like, okay, tie all that into a movie.
Exactly. Tied into like a workflow with the story and a full thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what happened here.
Other creator that I keep seeing stuff pop up, and he does these really kind of clever short VFX things, but with like a lot of open source tools, or with Luma, is Enigmatic E. And so he's got this one that he did where he was like Super Mario kind of pumping iron, and then levels up and turns into like a jacked Super Mario.
This looks good.
Yeah. And he breaks down his process and kind of just uses a combination of image to video workflows and compositing, and just does a really good job.
And then, he's like masking out himself and then filling it with the generative stuff. Yeah. No, this is exactly the type of experiments that we should all kind of follow and watch closely, because the next generation of VFX tools, I think, is in this direction.
Yeah.
Is all iterative and small pieces that ties into a big, massive workflow.
And existing pipelines that have already worked work for a while.
Yeah. Like, what would take this over the top is if somebody actually built a Nuke plugin for this, and you could just like drop all of the outputs into Nuke in your existing composite.
Interesting. Yeah.
So I'm sure you can ChatGPT or Claude Code write that plugin.
That's true. Yeah. I would check out his whole feed, because he's got a lot of good stuff and does really clever. He did this other one too that I think used a lot of Luma stuff, where he built a gun on his arm. Yeah. That's the full clip. Gun turns, blasts, blows up a house.
Yeah. The gun has accurate lighting on it. It's pulling from the environment.
Yeah. And he just does this in his backyard. And
he's missing that shockwave air that hits him in the back. Yeah, like he needs a VFX soup for sure. but he's doing his thing.
Super clever stuff. Yeah. And then last one, I just saw this one pop up from Rory Flynn, making of a Coliseum ship battle. So pulled Google Earth images from just regular Google Earth stuff of the Coliseum. Weavy, which I hadn't heard of. It looks like it's similar to like Flora, like another kind of AI.
Weavy is a competitor to like Invoke or LTX or Flora.
Okay, just like a pipeline built out with connecting multiple tools.
Right.
And then VO3. And built out this aerial shot of a naval battle in modern day Coliseum.
Yeah, it's cool. I just hope like some of these guys end up working on real shows and insert AI shots into real movies. That's the only way we're going to get the adoption.
Yeah, and something that's more like beyond a one shot, where it's like, hey, let's do it on a scene, where it's like consistent with like you have to do angles and keep everything consistent. That's like the next step for seeing this stuff come out.
Yeah, it's like what Cave on the Kid did. Is like just put out a 13-minute movie or whatever.
Yeah. All right. I think we're good here. Talked about the sphere and a bunch of stuff a lot. But yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know in the comments on YouTube or over on Apple Podcast or Spotify. And links for everything we talked about, as usual, at denoisedpodcast.com.
Yep. And we are taking the second episode taping of the week, which would drop typically on a Friday, to be the AI This Week in AI review.
Yeah, so we're doing Fridays as like review roundup.
Let us know if you like it.
Roundup. Yeah.
If that's the format that you're after. And, we're going to make the show that you want us to make.
Thanks, everyone. Catch you in the next episode.